Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having an amazing start to your weekend. Happy Saturday and thank you very much for joining me here today. So today we are building a downtown family home in Del Sol Valley. This is another pack restricted build, so this build requires base game and Get Famous only. So if you want to download this, you will only need Get Famous and the base game to work. And it is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom family home. It's supposed to look a little bit disheveled, a little bit like the family kind of cares about it, but they don't. I hope that makes sense. But as you saw from the start, I did show some interior shots on the introduction of this video just to give you guys a bit more of an idea as to what I was going for with this build. So I can imagine that the family lives here. They love each other so much and family means everything to them, and they're just trying to make the best of the situation that they're in. So obviously they live in, it's a decent sized house, you know, it's a bungalow, it's 1 story, but they're just trying to make the best of the situation. So the inside is a little bit run down looking, it needs some TLC, but they do take pride in where they live. So I hope that comes across in this house, and I had so much fun building this. I've been wanting to build a house like this for a long time now, and I felt very inspired to start this yesterday. I finished it off this morning, and obviously here we are now recording the voiceover and doing the speed build. So I really hope you guys enjoy this one. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you are liking it so far. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing as well and leaving me a comment down below. That is all free ways of supporting me as a content creator, and I very much appreciate it. So we are currently working on the exterior of this house, and I had a bit of a struggle working out the colour scheme. Initially I wanted it to be really sort of plain Jane looking, so that's why we went for this just normal white paneling swatch on the outside at the moment. And then I was having a look around the neighborhood, so you'll sort of see me dipping in and out, just zooming in and out and having a look around because I wanted it to match. And I wanted to get this fencing here, which is actually from the debug menu. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but at the start of this video there is a house built here already when you move onto this lot. And so I bulldozed the house but kept the slate, what do you call it, flooring at the front there. And then that's just me having a look over, and I wanted to get this sort of, I don't really know what, it's not barbed wiring, it's more just metal mesh fencing, I guess is what I would call it. And I wanted to get that on the front so that it looks like it belonged in this neighborhood. And I think, as much as I absolutely adore the look of Del Sol Valley as a world, I think it's gorgeous. The lots they're kind of strange in that this one is huge, like it's humongous. And I actually did not realize until you'll see me. So at the start of the video, you've seen me add a separate garage just on the left-hand side there of where the caravan is. And I added a garage there because I had no idea that part of the lot was mine to build on. So it's a really big lot, but all the houses in this neighborhood are really small. So I was trying to think of the best way to utilize the entire lot and the entire space, and the best that I could do was, I just thought, okay, well, let's just put an external separate garage there. It is bare, so there's nothing in it, so you guys can turn it into a workshop or even an extra bedroom if you wanted to, I suppose. And I kind of thought it was a good idea if we ever do get a pack that involves bands, you know, where your Sims can start up a band and play instruments and things. I thought it would be kind of a cool idea to convert that into a band practice room. I thought that'd be kind of cool. So I'm going to be honest, I think 10 minutes of this speed build video is me doing the exterior of this house because there's a lot of finicky details that go into this build in particular, and it did take me a long time to build, and I'm pretty happy with the end result. I think the inside of the house is exactly where I want it to be. The exterior of the house, as I said, proved to be a little bit more difficult just because I did not know. I mean, you can see me here, it's now changed to blue, which looking back I do really like, but it looks a little bit too clean, a little bit too perfect, and that's why we ended up changing it for, I think it's just a base game sort of weathered brick. We ended up just changing it out for that, and then using some base game roofing as well. So I don't know, I think the whole idea of this, as I've said, is that it looks run down, and the family that live here, they, as much as they love the house, they haven't maybe taken the best care of it, but they're trying their best. That's what we're trying to get across here. So you'll see me nipping in and out of debug and just adding some details and then changing my mind a million times, because I do that anyway. But I didn't really, in fact, I didn't edit anything out of this video, which is unusual. So sometimes I will edit out me browsing through the debug menu. And I do think that this house in particular has now pushed me to want to get, there's a mod that you can get that allows you to search through debug for specific items, and I think this has kind of pushed me to do that now, you know, because it really was, this is very debug dependent. And if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube already, I do community posts just to keep in contact with you all, and just so that you guys can see what I'm working on and what I'm doing. So if you would like to subscribe, that's obviously an added bonus, so that you guys get to sort of see behind the scenes of what I'm working on. And I did post this, I posted an exterior shot of this particular house yesterday, and I said, okay, we're doing another pack restricted build, which packs do you think we used? And a lot of people guessed Get Famous, but they assumed that there were other items involved just because there's a lot going on outside, and that is thanks to the debug menu. I can't even hide behind that fact, you know. I think the debug menu from the base game, and well, the base game, the debug menu from base game is actually really quite extensive when you strip it back and you have a look at it. So I think me doing these pack restricted builds, doing these base game builds and things like that, it's definitely opening my eyes as to what we actually have in the game without the added packs. And I love doing these pack restricted builds for you all, and they seem to be doing quite well, so I'm really glad that you guys enjoy them, because I really enjoy building them, and just knowing that I'm making them more accessible to more people, it makes me so unbelievably happy. I can't even tell you, because as much as I love doing houses where I'm not really restricting myself to packs, it's kind of selfish, because I do wonder what percentage of simmers actually have all the packs, all the game packs, all the expansion packs, all the stuff packs, and now we have kits. You know, we're throwing so much in there, and I just sort of go in and I go, woo, you know, I get really, really giddy with it, because I think I'm very lucky and I have all the packs. But I have to appreciate that not everyone does, and I'm really enjoying being able to let more of you guys access my work, I think is what I'm trying to say oh so ineloquently. So this is the garage that I was talking about, and this garage door is from the debug menu, I believe from base game. If I am wrong and it's not from base game, then it can only be from Get Famous, because as I said, this is another pack restricted build. But again, I didn't even realize this part of the lot was mine to build on, and I was pleasantly surprised. I absolutely love the fact that the lot's so big, but it's at the same time, you're kind of thinking, well, it's kind of strange, because you can't build you could build a mansion here if you really wanted to, but it wouldn't fit in with the keeping of the street, or the, what do you call it, the neighborhood that it's in. So if you have a look around, they all look like quite small rundown houses, and that's what I wanted to get across with this house. And at the minute, we used these paneling from the Get Famous pack, and I believe this is in a dark green color, and again, it just looks too polished, it looks too clean, so we end up swapping it out for this one here. And I do an orange door, but I end up switching out for a white door right at the very end, because the orange it wasn't doing it for me. On the inside of the build, it wasn't coming across very well, so I ended up just changing it for a plain white swatch. That is the only thing I did off camera in this build. So normally I've talked about this before on the channel, but sometimes I get a bit giddy and I start making changes and forget that I've pressed record. So there are some slight changes to builds that you guys don't even see me doing, because I do it off camera, completely by accident of course, but I do it off camera. So the only thing I did with this one is just change the swatch of the door. But as you can see, I'm just adding some, you know, like little details here and there. Oh, and I did do one more thing. I lowered the roof pitch because it was looking a little bit high. Anyway, now we're moving on to the inside of the house, and I'm going to be honest, normally I prefer the outside of my builds to the inside, but this one is an exception. I prefer the inside of this house to the outside. I think it just came out really nicely. It's exactly what I was going for, this quite disheveled family house, essentially, and it sleeps 3 Sims, so you can have 2 adult Sims and 1 child Sim. The bedroom for the child Sim is gender neutral, and so you can put a boy, a girl, whoever in there. You can do whatever you want. And the living room here, I love this so much. I just kept finding all these different items. Again, base game really surprised me here. And I think the more that you play with base game, the more you build with base game, you actually realise how much we have. And when you don't get me wrong, I had to throw the debug menu in there a little bit, but that's okay, you know. It's kind of cheating, kind of. But what I wanted to get across with this house is that you'll see me in just a minute adding some like cans and bottles and pizza boxes and stuff like that just round. And then in the kitchen I kind of do the same, but I can imagine that this family doesn't really use the kitchen to eat in. They all sort of slump in the sofa or eat on the floor or like just whatever, and it's just a little bit unkempt. And I love that about this house. I think it just adds to the character of it. So again, I'm really happy with how this came out. So I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Don't forget to drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Have you used this house? What family have you moved in here? If you have used this house, I'm just really intrigued by it all, because I'd quite like to create a family now to move in here and play in this house. I really would, and I'm actually really tempted to do that because I don't do any gameplay on camera. I do it all off camera. If I ever do it, it's very rare that I even do it. And I would like to apologise in advance if you can hear one of my dogs. When I record, I close the office door, and they can't be in here because they require me to watch them, because they just get into absolutely everything. So he's crying just a little bit because he can hear me. So if you guys can hear that, I'm really sorry. I'm hoping he'll quieten down, at least for the remainder of the speed build. But I obviously, when I'm finished, I will go and make sure he's okay. I think it's because he can just hear me on the other side of the door. Anyway, as you can see, the living room is pretty much coming together at this point, and I love it. It's so full of character and full of love, and I really like it. I really do. And then I found some items in the debug menu. I'm gonna stop saying debug, I promise. But so like the fire extinguisher and the cans and the bottles and the pizza boxes, and again, everything like that, I think it just adds to it. It really does add to it. And as you can see, it's not completely to the point where it doesn't look like the family just doesn't care at all, because they do, but they are a little bit messy, a little bit sloppy. So I love that about them. And we're now working on the kitchen, and this came pretty easily to me, I'm going to be honest, to make it look kind of run down. It really didn't take all that much, and this base game freezer here just works so unbelievably perfectly in this kitchen, and obviously the cooker there as well. That is it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And I'm thinking about doing a trailer build, maybe in Strangerville. So probably another pack restricted build with base game, Strangerville, and maybe another pack, or maybe just base game and Strangerville. But you'll have to let me know what other builds you'd like to see. What other pack restricted builds would you like me to do? Because I'm up for a challenge. You know, if you want me to do base game and spa day, if you want me to do base game and seasons, or base game and paranormal, like whatever, just drop me a comment down below, give me some ideas, and I will try my best to have a look at them, and I will see what I can do. So again, clutter with this house, and it's probably not one of my, I was going to say clutteriest houses, that's not even a word. It's not one of my most cluttered houses in the world, but I wanted to stay away from using too many plants. I've used some in the house because, as I said, the family kind of cares. They half care and half don't, and as you can see, I haven't used as many plants as I normally would. Normally I'd put some really pretty flowers in the kitchen, and they'd have a nice plant by the fridge and stuff like that, but I stayed away from that with this build because it's not the vibe that I was really going for. And so yeah, and then I ended up finding just different items and sort of rearranging things and thinking, oh well, that would look good there. And I think you've just got to go through and see what's what, and just, it's like a, I don't know, it's a bit of a process, you know. I think when you start a build, you've kind of got to just roll with it and hope that it's a bit of a coin toss with me. It's like a 50-50. Is it even going to be good or is it not? Because you guys see what I put out. You don't see what I don't. And there are builds that I don't think are good enough to show you and that I don't upload. And it is disheartening, you know, because I think everyone's sort of guilty of this, but you're quite hard on yourself and you think, well, okay, well, I've done that before, so why can't I do it now? And sometimes it's just not there, your creativity, or you're not feeling it on that day, and you've got to just step back and think, okay, well, that's fine. I just won't build on this day. And so it is hard, but it's very enjoyable at the same time. And now I'm just banging on about absolutely nothing. So this is the main bathroom of the house and the only bathroom in the house, because I didn't imagine that this house had an ensuite for the master bedroom. It just didn't seem that realistic. And so we end up just giving them a very decently sized main bathroom. And we end up putting in, I don't use this shower tub combo very often, but I thought it kind of just ticks 2 boxes. They can have a bath and they can have a shower, and it's cheap, so it just seemed fitting with the house style as well. And then again, going through and just nothing matches in this house. All the wood swatches are mismatched and things like that. So the family probably has upgraded some things, and just obviously the carpets, the wallpapers, everything that hasn't been touched in probably a very, very, very long time. And this is the children's room. You'll see what I mean in a minute, but the wallpaper hasn't been touched for a long time. The wood paneling on the wall, they've probably stripped a wall back and been left with the wood paneling and thought, oh, actually that looks really nice. It doesn't, but they think, oh, that looks nice, so we'll just leave it bare, but we won't strip the rest of it. You know, I just love it. I just think it's so full of character. And again, the kids' room, I mean, look, it's cozy, it's cute. They have toys to play in here. They have a desk. So again, that love is there. It's just that obviously the house itself, it just needs a little bit of TLC. So what might be kind of a nice idea too is if you guys want to renovate this, that might be fun to see. So if you do end up renovating it, I'd love to see it. So you can tweet me at RachelPedd, drop me a comment down below. You can send me a message on Twitter or on Instagram, like whatever you want to do. All my socials are linked down in the description box below. But again, we are just cluttering up here and just finding, again, random, what can we put here? The only thing I didn't put in this room was a mirror, which is quite interesting because that's not normally something that I forget, but clearly I was like, no mirror today. So this child does not have a mirror, so that's fine. I mean, they could just use the one in the hallway, or they can use the one in their parents' room. I'm pretty sure I put a mirror in there, or hopefully I did anyways. We will see. I was looking back on a build that I'd done a few months ago and I'd forgotten to put a fridge in the kitchen. I mean, what? Come on. Who does that? Me, clearly. So now we're working on the master bedroom of the house. It's a decent size, but it's very oddly shaped. So I did have a little bit of a hard time figuring out what to put where. And then I put this disheveled rug down, which is from the Get Famous pack. I thought it's just perfect. I can imagine they've probably found that lying on the street and they've just like put it in there. They've dusted it off slightly and then put it in their room. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys here to watch the rest of the speed build because we are pretty much wrapping things up now. But this house is available to download from the gallery. My origin ID, of course, is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can download them via Sim File Share. But again, if you've enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment and subscribe if you would like to for more content. I am posting at the moment probably between 2 and 3 times a week. So we're doing all right at the moment. But thank you very much for joining me here today, everyone. I hope you guys take care and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!